We usually think civilizations collapse because of war or famine, but the Song Dynasty of China did something different. It essentially destroyed itself with a test. This is the story of the education trap and the ordinary families who mortgaged their lives to enter it. A young girl in Song, China, 10 years old, practices embroidery. Her brother studies Confucian classics to prepare for the exams. She practices fine needlework to prepare for marriage. Their mother calculates how much silk the household must produce to pay taxes and finance her son's education. She weighs whether foot binding, newly popular among the elite, will improve her daughter's marriage prospects or hinder her ability to work. This household microcosm reveals how power and inequality intersect with gender. The civil service exam system represented a shift from aristocratic privilege to meritocratic veneer. By anonymizing scripts and recopying handwriting, the state attempted to curb nepotism. Yet only men from landholding families could afford decades of study. Daughters were often used to strengthen kin alliances through marriages. Some families took in concubines to produce heirs. Women's labor, spinning silk, weaving cloth, managing dowries, financed sons' studies, and sustained extended kin networks. For widows, Confucian moralists popularized the idea that starving was preferable to remarriage, policing women's bodies and reproduction. This gendered division of labor aligns with Piketty's inequality logic. Returns on capital accrue when a family can invest in education and maintain property. In Song, China, investing in a son's education was a capital investment. Weaving and foot binding were strategies to secure better marital matches for daughters. Inequality was reproduced not only through wealth, but through gendered social norms. In North and Weingast's terms, Song China functioned as a natural state. Access to political office was limited to gentry families. Mann's framework highlights that economic dynamism outpaced political power. Private merchants, excluded from formal office, formed partnerships that fueled urban growth. Tainter's notion of complexity appears in the sprawling bureaucratic apparatus that maintained paper money, salt monopolies, and exam systems. The cost of this complexity strained resources when the Jurchen invaded. Scheitel's violent leveling lurked on the horizon. Only when the Mongols toppled the dynasty did inequality collapse, at tremendous human cost. Within this context, the mother's decisions to bind her daughter's feet, to work nights, to mortgage fields, are acts of agency constrained by structures of inequality. The son's journey to the exam hall in the opening scenes depends on the invisible labor of women, the macroeconomy of salt monopolies and paper money, and the ideological power of Confucianism. The education trap is just one way a society can break. But how does this compare to the racial hierarchies of the American Gilded Age or the forced modernization of Japan? I compare all three of these stories in my full documentary, which you can watch right here.